Welcome, everybody. This is day 12, or depending on when you're listening. And if it's tomorrow in Australia, it's day 13, or maybe it's still day 12, but it's yesterday. I don't remember. Anyway, welcome, everybody. We are doing the Seance at the Whitney once again. All month long, we're playing a fun game. We're listening to authors read from their work, and we're just having a good time talking about books. Here's our schedule. I try to keep it to an hour, one way or the other, a couple minutes usually. And Charlie is very excited. Can you tell? We are not having an event on the 14th, so don't worry about logging in that day, but that's a good day to catch up on all the replays if you missed anything. The Seance at the Whitney is an interactive indie author virtual book festival. Every night we feature author readings, we play an interactive improv mystery game, and we give away books. These are the amazing, incredible, astounding authors that we have sharing their work this month, and their names up here every single day. You need to write them down or copy them or something and go find out who they are and what they do, because they're astounding. Check it out. Tonight, we have two authors reading for you. Linda Hansen is reading from her children's book called Otto the Otter, and Melinda is reading from her children's book. I giggle every time I say this title. The whole title of the book is, help me out, Melinda.
You might think it's a booger, but it's not. 110 weird and disgusting body facts.
Yeah, see? There you go. I giggle every time I say it in my head, which is why I couldn't actually say it out loud. So there you go. So we're going to start tonight with Linda Hansen reading from her book, Otto the Otter, which is actually based on a true story about otters in her backyard. And I need to tell you, she's also the illustrator of this book, and she's an amazing artist. So check it out. Linda, when you are ready, please take the microphone and read aloud.
I thank you very much. And this is Otto the Otter, A Big Surprise. You'll find out the surprise. And I do paint in watercolor. And as Diana said, these are everything from the front cover to the back cover is my work. So let me get it that you can, there we go. Otto the Otter has been visiting this small pond for a long time. The people who live in the gray house near the pond gave him his name. It is always a wonderful surprise when they see him. Otto doesn't come every day, but he does come often to swim, play, and eat. Otto stays at the pond for a few hours and then travels from the pond through a creek to another pond nearby. Otters travel in a 6-mile area, and the People's Pond is just one of the places he visits. Otto is a North American river otter, and he lives in fresh water. River otters are different from sea otters, who live in the salty water of the Pacific Ocean. Otters sleep near water in a variety of places on land, both above ground and in underground dens. Sorry, I was getting 2 pages and not one. Otto leaves the pond at night. The people in the gray house don't know where he goes. Sometimes they see him leave as he squeezes through the fence on the other side of the pond. The people worry about Otto if they don't see him for a while. Once he stayed away all winter and finally showed up again in the spring with a very big surprise. Otto turned out not to be Otto. Otto is a girl. How did the people realize that Otto was a girl? Otto came to the pond with 2 babies. The people changed the otter's name to Opal. Otter babies are called pups. Before they are born, their mother creates a quiet den where they will be born and kept safe. The pups spend their first month there. They can't see because their eyes are not open yet, but their mother watches over them. As the pups grow, The small pond near the gray house provides a safe place for them. The first few weeks that Opal brought them to the pond, they stayed all day. Their mom always keeps them close and looks after them. The people in the gray house never get tired of watching them. When the pups were about 2 months old, Opal started to teach them to swim. The pups were not born knowing how to swim. Their mom also taught them how to look for food under the water. Otters eat fish, frogs, crayfish, turtles, and insects. They have long whiskers, which help them find their food in dark or cloudy water. They also have special eyelids, which allow them to keep their eyes open to see while swimming under the water. Otters can close their ears and noses, which allows them to swim under the water for almost 8 minutes. Sometimes the otters disappear under the water, but the people can tell where they are by the bubbles that rise to the surface. The pups often leave the pond to play on the grass, clean themselves, and nurse from Opal. Mother otters continue to cuddle and nurse their pups for 14 weeks. As the pups continue to grow, they leave Opal's side and swim around the pond to explore and play on their own. Opal watches them very closely and squeaks loudly to show them her displeasure when they get too far away. There are 2 wooden floating rafts in the small pond. The people who live in the gray house call them turtle islands. During the heat of the day, the turtles who live in the pond like to climb onto the rafts and enjoy the warmth of the sun. The pups love to play on the turtle islands too. When the pups are on the raft, the turtles leave to find another place to enjoy their time in the sun. The people in the gray house love to watch the otters swim. Otters have long, flat, wide tails that they use just like a rudder on a boat. Their tail helps them steer and also helps them swim fast. Adult otters are very strong and can swim 6 to 7 miles per hour while in the water and can run as fast as 15 miles per hour on land. The people watch as time passes and the pups continue to grow. Opal moves them from the safety of the pond more often and takes them to other places. Sometimes they are gone for several days. Now, when they do come, they no longer stay very long. Their lives have become busier as they travel from pond to pond. The people in the gray house do not know how long or how often they will get to see Opal and her pups. Otter pups usually stay with their mother until they are 1 year old. The people hope they will get to see them for a long time and watch them grow. If the people in the gray house are lucky, maybe Opal will show up with a new litter of pups one day. And that's the end of the book. But in the back of the book, I do have a picture that we took. And if you look, you can see Opal and the 2 pups. The story. Thank you.
This book, because I have a thing for otters, so I'm really, really pleased to have discovered you on the podcast, and this is a great book, and your artwork is just so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. They were here last Wednesday, but I didn't get to see them. My husband did.
Okay, the second reading for tonight is Melinda Falgas. See, Diana can't speak because I'm giggling at the title. I'm giggling at the title. This is my problem. Okay, when you are ready, Melinda, please take the microphone and help me untie my tongue.
So here's the cover of You Might Think It's a Booger, but It's Not. 110 weird and disgusting body facts. And this is the second book in the Wagging Tails Press Fun Facts line. So it is the Not Kids Nonfiction series that we started in 2023. Do you like things that are slimy, gross, or just plain weird? Well, you're in luck. The human body is filled with things that are absolutely grody. From bugs to boogers, we have collected 110 weird and disgusting facts that will have you running for the shower. If you're brave enough to learn what lurks in and on your body, just we dare you to turn the pages. This book is loaded with fun facts and trivia that can not only help you learn about what the incredible human body, it will also help you totally gross out your family and friends. You might want to wait until after you finish your dinner, though, because this book really puts the ick in sick. There's no doubt about it. Humans are pretty disgusting creatures. Our bodies are the weirdest, grossest places, even when our pieces parts are just doing the things they were meant to do. So, if you're ready to be grossed out, turn the page. Some funny facts that are head and shoulders above the rest. 10 fun facts about the human body. So, what exactly is the human body? Well, it's all the parts that make you, you. Biologists, scientists who study living organisms, know that trillions of different cells, around 37,200,000,000 to be exact, form the tissues, organs, and systems that work together to run your amazing human machine. The human body has 11 major body systems, each performing a specific job. The nervous system, the respiratory system, the circulatory system, the muscular system, the digestive system, the skeletal system, the endocrine system, the immune system, the lymphatic system, the urinary system, and the reproductive system. In addition to all of our own cells that make up our body systems, the microbial biome, or the microorganisms that live on us, that's another 39 trillion cells. That's a whole lot of zeros, not to mention bacteria and fungi. Talk about gross. And here are some more weird and funny facts about the delightfully disgusting human body. We picked a really fun fact first. Picking your nose a lot is known as rhinotilomexia. Let's try that again. Rewind. Rhinotilexomania. Move over, Dumbo and Pinocchio. Fun fact number 2, a human's ears and nose will never stop growing. Fun fact number 3, stick out your tongue. Your tongue print is as unique as your fingerprint. No one else has the same as you. Fun fact number 4, your nose should get a speeding ticket. Sneezes can travel over 100 miles an hour, although most average around 35. Now we're going to flip over to another section of the book. Some more and less bona fide facts. 10 more weird but true facts about the human body. Well, there's no doubt that the human body is a weird, gross, but very interesting place. People throughout history have been fascinated by it. They have also believed some pretty weird things about it, too. In fact, here are some more and some less bona fide facts, sure to gross you out. Ancient Egyptians believed that bat's blood could cure eye infections. Not true, of course. I mean, that's just batty. Ancient Romans supposedly used powdered mouse brains as toothpaste. They believed it would give them a pearly white smile. I don't know about you, but I am not a mouse. There's no such thing as the 5-second rule. Bacteria doesn't have a stopwatch. It jumps on your cookie the second it hits the floorboards. So be a snack time hero. Don't drop the cookie. Before you scroll through your social media, think about this. Cellular phones contain 10 times more bacteria than toilet seats. Now, here is a fact that's a real kick in the teeth. According to an old custom in Wetterau, Germany, you could supposedly get rid of a toothache by kissing a donkey. Now that's hilarious. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your urine? Shakespeare might have written a totally different line for Julius Caesar if he had been aware of the ancient Roman practice of using pee as wash. The habit became so popular, pots were even left around the city for people to urinate in. The ammonia in the urine worked, but we bet it wasn't minty fresh. Does your dad turn green when he's upset? It might not be because he's a superhero with colossal anger management issues. It could just be because he's related to a leafy vegetable. Humans share somewhere around 40 to 60% of the same DNA as cabbage. Belief it? 110 weird and disgusting body facts.
I love it. I got to have it.
I wish I could be 7 years old again and attend your classroom. So much fun. Thank you very much, ladies, for your readings this evening. Melinda, will you please hold up your book one more time so everybody can see the title? If you thought it was a booger, but it's such a cute, oh my gosh, you guys, go buy the book. Linda, and hold up your book so we can see it again, pretty please. Otter the Otter and the Big Surprise. Check that out. The illustrations in this book are incredible, you guys. Check it out. Thank you very much, everybody, for your reading. Okay, here we go. On to the insanity part of the evening. I don't know how I'm going to follow Melinda's reading, but here we go. Here's the gentle recap of our murder mystery, the Seance at the Whitney. At the Ghost Bar inside the Whitney Manor and historic Detroit estate, a world-famous psychic medium has come for an exclusive, invitation-only seance. With so many curious about spiritualism around the world, this event promises to connect the living and the spirit worlds, opening doors to mysteries that transcend time and space. But when the seance spirals into a chilling rendezvous with a vengeful spirit and a shocking murder, it falls upon those in attendance to unravel the truths hidden in the darkest depths of the past. A spirit is summoned, vowing revenge on their killer. One of the guests becomes hysterical, claiming the spirit is there for them. Suddenly, the lights start flickering and the wind pushes the windows open, extinguishing the candles around the room. The room and everyone in it are thrust into darkness. When the light returns, the same hysterical guest is lying on the floor, dead. Who killed them? Why? Was it the furious spirit or something far more earthly? That is your goal tonight. Collect more clues, figure out who did it. You may question our cast members to learn more about who they are, their purposes for coming to the Whitney, and a little about their history and connections to each other. The cast. The medium is the great Christopher Gare. His assistant is Donna Newman. She is not in the room this evening. The author, excuse me, is Amy Kelso. The socialite is Dawn Menge. The spouse, Jules Nelson. The fan, Marianne Wieland. The aloof guest, Gary Floyd. The maitre d', Melinda Faugo. And I am your storyteller, about to cough up a lung. Okay, so let's begin the questioning. Who would like to go first? Mark McCraw, go.
Okay, so I have a question, unless I missed it in the replay. This is for Gary. You had told us a while back that that you wandered in and you had no clue at all about anything, but yet the seating chart had your name in that spot, and you said that you just happened to sit down. So I guess I'm kind of confused because the seating chart was already made up, but you said you wandered in and just happened to sit in the right seat.
I'm kind of confused by that too. 1 minute I was there and the next minute I'm at the table.
Hmm.
And
If you get to the bottom of that, will you let me know?
No, I just figured that somebody would have sat you down rather than you just happened to sit in the right spot since you didn't know.
I kind of came to at the table.
Okay.
all right, who's next? Justine, go ahead.
So what side of Richard's head is the wound on? The left or the right?
Does anybody know? Jules, did you happen to notice that when you were looking at your husband? Which side of the he was bashed in it?
I mean, technically I should be able to see, but
I say
can't reach him.
I was just upset that my husband's dead. I didn't actually notice what side of the head he was bashed in on.
Well, it was
Okay.
definitely one of those.
Because either the right or the left.
If it wasn't in the center.
Been at the very top of his head. I think as head wounds bleed so profusely, I'm not sure anyone's entirely sure because, you know, at this point we haven't even checked to see if he's actually dead yet. So
Right. Somebody poke him. Somebody poke him and turn him over and look.
You're somebody.
I'm on the
Um,
other side of the table. Gary is the closest.
all right.
Gary doesn't even know who he is. How does he know who's dead or not?
Well, good point. Good point. Okay, questions. Linda, go ahead.
I think it was Gary who said that he woke up at the table. What do you mean you woke up?
I things have just coming and going out of my head. 1 minute I wasn't there and the next minute I'm sitting at a table.
He's been having some issues with amnesia and memory recall. We don't entirely know why yet. But I will ask you this, Gary. You told us on day one that you felt a spirit entity move through you during the seance. Can you describe what that sensation felt like?
It just felt like it had occupied my body.
Okay, what does that feel like? I've never been occupied, so I'm really curious. You know, writing the
It's almost like something moving inside you.
Sort of like my Taco Bell.
Kind of like a Taco Bell.
Were you conscious?
Except it was higher than the stomach.
Were you actually conscious of what was going on as well as the spirit, or were you kind of out of it while the spirit was
It's kind of like the spirit kind of overtook me.
Okay. Dawn, you weren't here last night, and we went around the room and we asked everybody 2 questions. So I want to ask these questions of you tonight. The first question is, are you left or right-handed?
I am right-handed.
Okay.
What about Troy?
He's left.
Troy's right-handed too.
Okay. The other question I had for you is, many of the people sitting around the table are connected through their childhoods going to school together. Can you tell us if you went to school with any of the other people around the room?
I went to school with the great Christopher.
And that was, which school do you recall?
Um,
Was it Detroit Country Day?
we were childhood friends, so
Christopher said he went to Detroit Country Day. So I'm guessing you went there as well, along with Jules.
yes, you are correct.
Okay, awesome. Mandy Jo, you have a question.
Yes. Gary, you said that Gary Floyd is actually your pen name. What is your name?
Actually, Mandy Jo, I need to correct you on that detail, being, you know, the investigative reporter I am. He said he blurted out the name of the character he'd been working on in his book. That was not his pen name. That was his character's name. So
I'm
Gary,
actually
the
gonna-
question.
Okay.
So the
I was
Gary,
actually going to call the book Gary Floyd, and I'm going to subtitle it "The Greatest Story Ever Told."
so Mandy Jo's question is relevant. Do you have memory of what your name is?
I do not have memory of my name.
Okay, search your memory banks again, because we are bound by honesty. So search your memory banks again.
I
Do
have
you
had
know
people.
your name?
I have had people that have come into. I've had spirits that have come into my body.
And do any of them have a name?
One of them is Nora Ainsworth.
Okay, Mandy, does that answer your question?
Sort of.
Okay. The great Christopher, you have a question?
Gary, what can you tell us about your book?
It's a terrific book. It's a page turner. Be sure to go to Amazon and buy it.
Okay, there we go. See, he has specific answers just like you do. Okay, Wolf, go ahead.
Oh, great storyteller, with your tremendous powers of perception, have you noticed any blood spatter on anybody in the room?
I have not noticed blood spatter on any individual in the room. I have noticed a great deal of blood spatter on the table in front of where Richard was sitting. And I'm assuming that whoever hit Richard hit him pretty hard, because there is blood spatter on the ceiling as well.
Wow. Thank you, oh great one.
I'm not so great. I'm just a reporter doing my job. Marianne, you had a question?
Yes. Gary, are you acting like a lunatic just to get a better story, kind of like Amy?
Who says I'm acting?
Well, it's really hard to tell. It's very hard to tell.
Okay. Does anyone else have Mark, go ahead.
So the question, Gary, is, are you acting out your book in this seance?
No.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else have questions? Amy, go ahead.
Okay, Melinda. I was curious, I know I've heard all sorts of rumors about weird supernatural things happening at the Whitney Manor. I've never seen anything. But since you've been here at least as long as me, I'm curious if you've ever noticed anything weird or supernatural until today.
I cannot recall any particular instance of anything odd. I mean, occasionally here in the ghost bar, things have been misplaced or moved around, but that's all part of the legend, I suppose. More likely, it is uncoordinated, unskilled staff, but that's a story for another day. But as far as anything ghostly, supernatural, no, I can't think of a single thing.
Okay, thank you for confirming that.
Jules, go ahead.
So I have a question for Dawn / Troy, since she's here today. I just wondered, because you said you were here trying to figure out what happened to Nora, and then when it was announced that Nora had taken up one of the bodies in the room, and then my husband, the dearly departed, freaked out and said that the spirit was there for him, did you think that that meant that he had done something to Nora, and did that make you angry, and that's maybe possibly what would have spurred you to hit him over the head, even if you didn't mean to kill him?
I don't think I hit him over the head.
Where'd you hit him?
I didn't hit him. He was over here and I'm right-handed, so I didn't jump over all the people to get to him. But yes, I did start this so that we could find out, I could find out what happened to my Nora as Troy. And it did make me a little angry, but I'm more sad that she's gone, that we don't know what happened to her.
Okay, so now we know Troy's motive for disguising as Dawn was so that he could make the seance happen to maybe get more information about the disappearance of Nora. That makes complete sense. Miranda, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Melinda, you were mentioning that I think somewhere in probably a few episodes back, were there hidden panels and doors in this in and out of the seance room that you're aware of?
I am not personally aware of any hidden panels or doors. That wasn't me that mentioned that. I do recall, though, hearing someone mention something to that effect. The house is very, very old, and it's been around since before Prohibition times, so the likelihood that there are panels and hidden passageways is entirely likely. And as I said, I think someone else did mention it, but it wasn't me.
Yeah, I uncovered it in my research, and it is true. During Prohibition, there were a lot of speakeasies hidden around the Detroit area, and many of them were bootlegging across the Windsor Gateway across the Detroit River, coming and going. So it wouldn't surprise me. I have not personally found any of the secret passages. It wouldn't surprise me at all, though, to discover so many claims that those secrets did exist. Christopher.
Madam Storyteller, if you had to ask Gary a direct question that would give us some information and help with this case, what would it be?
I love you and I don't like you right now. That's
Play by the rules.
Gary, you said that you felt the spirit of Nora Ainsworth come through you at a particular time. Are you currently being possessed by Nora Ainsworth?
I think that I could probably get her spirit here.
Diana was so shocked she froze. Wait, maybe Gary's doing that to her. Gary, did you freeze Diana?
I think she's got Nora.
So Gary, just to clarify that, so you aren't necessarily channeling her right now, but you could probably reach out to her again if perhaps the great Christoph were to Christopher, I can never say your name, but I apologize. If he could get her to come back, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it seems like that spirits are always around near us.
Okay.
And I've, some of the things in the ghost bar, I've said that I've seen spirits in the ghost bar.
Okay. Emma has her hand up. I'm gonna.
Yes, Gary, can you bring up the spirit right now? We're all here waiting, and apparently the great Christopher has taken a break. So you fill in for Em,
Did you
please.
have questions for her?
Well, yes, I do. Did she witness any of this?
Did she what?
Witness any of this?
Ooh.
I can't understand the word.
Did she witness any of this?
Witness.
Witness any of what? The seance?
The seance.
I would say that she was in the room.
I'm sorry, my technology failed me. Amy, can you catch me up real
We
quick?
thought you were possessed by Nora.
I may have been.
That was pretty much it. We laughed at that joke.
Okay, good.
Emma asked Gary if he could channel Nora right now and maybe see if she witnessed anything during the seance. So.
And I said that they could. I said that she's around. She's been around the seance. There's been a lot of spirits around the seance.
Okay. All right. Amy, your hand is still raised. Do you have another question that I missed?
I do. I don't remember what it was, but I'll ask this one. Well, we've got Nora through Gary. Nora, did you see who killed Richard?
That's a little bit that's a little bit fuzzy to me.
Okay. That's worth a try.
I'd like to get to the bottom of it though.
Yeah, me too, because holy moly, you guys. Christopher, go ahead.
Gary, did any of the spirits you have been in contact with see anything relevant to the investigation?
Not that I'm aware of.
Christopher, have you been hearing voices from any of the other spirits?
I think I should be sitting at the table instead of the great Christopher, because I think I'm channeling him better.
The great Christopher,
that?
have you been hearing from the spirits of David Whitney or Clyde Berkson? Have you heard from either of them since this has begun?
Who can hear anything between Julie and Amy and Gary and Marianne? It's impossible. They could be screaming at me in my ear and I wouldn't hear anything.
Okay.
Oh, great one. Great one.
Okay. Mark McCraw, go ahead.
If you already answered this, I'm sorry. My cat just broke something that shouldn't have been broken. So, the question is for Amy. Did you say, I mean, if you lived there in that mansion, you've probably checked every nook and cranny, so you would know if there's hidden passages, correct?
Well, I did, not only do I live there currently, but I did live there as a child. And yes, me, Richard, and Nora did spend plenty of time, like when it was raining out, we couldn't go outside, we would explore all sorts of hidden nooks and crannies. So yes, there are quite a few of them.
There probably could be some very close to that seance room.
Perhaps, yes.
Are you aware, Amy, of a back stairwell that leads perhaps out of the butler's pantry down to the second floor?
Well, I know that there is the back stairwell which was the servant stairway. Of course, there's always the back stairway that the servants came in. I'm trying to remember if it goes straight from the butler's pantry or not. Maybe Melinda would know that one better than me. I don't know.
Are you aware, Melinda? Does the butler, I mean, you've been working there almost your whole career. Does the back stairwell go from the butler's pantry down to the second floor?
I actually have nothing to say about that. I usually front of house.
Okay. Jules, go ahead.
A question is for Gary. While you have Nora kind of intuned a little bit, did she see who got up from the table? Because we heard that somebody got up from the table and moved around a little bit.
He has nothing to say about that.
So we know Donna left to go flash the lights at the great Christopher's behest. And we know Marianne saw her make that move into the pantry. Are you saying, Gary, that Nora was not conscious of outside movement in the room?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Amy, go ahead.
Now, okay, I've got to say, yeah, I think you, Diana, said that Gary was standing next to the great Christopher after Richard was killed. So at some point during that, Gary stood up and was standing next to Christopher.
Yep, when the lights came on, I saw Gary standing next to Christopher at the head of the table.
That is correct.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone have any other questions? If not, I have one last one. Does anyone have anything?
Diana.
Yes, Wolf.
I thought the table is round.
The table is round, but as we all know, there is always a king sitting at the head of the table, even if that table is round.
So he was standing next to Christopher, or who's considered the head?
Yep. Now,
king?
Christopher was at the head of the table, and Gary's seat was directly to Christopher's right. He was seated when the lights went out. He was standing when the lights came back on.
Okay, thank you.
Jules, go ahead.
So it's, if I'm remembering correctly, everybody who was invited to the seance was invited by Dawn. So Dawn, my question is to you is, why did you invite Gary? And I guess, do you know what Gary's real name is, since we all had to have an invitation to come?
Well, I invited everyone but Gary.
Oh.
So I don't know why he's there.
That makes two of us.
So he really could have moved Marianne's nameplate if she was supposed to sit next to the great Christopher then.
Yes,
Maybe-
yes, I have said that. I have said that.
Maybe it was a request from Christopher. I'm just saying.
The best. Yes. Good job, Christopher. I like it. Okay. Dawn, I have one more question to you. Did you hear Jules and her husband Richard arguing before the seance?
Yes, we talked about that.
Okay, can you just refresh us for the people who may have missed that part?
Everyone was downstairs enjoying their drinks in the bar, and I had to go to the restroom, so I went upstairs and I heard them arguing, and he said, let me quote, I heard Peter shout, I wish I wasn't with you. I hate you. I only married you because I couldn't be with her.
Okay. Interesting. All right, one last question. Melinda, this is for you. Did you, longtime employee of the Whitney that you are, and because you spent many years watching the Whitney children grow, did you recognize Dawn when she appeared as Dawn rather than Troy? Did you recognize her as Troy when she came into the ghost bar?
I did not. I only met Troy, as it were, one time, and it was not even a very long meeting. And with the guise that he arrived in, it was very difficult to put the Troy persona over the or under the or however, whatever preposition you want to use. No, I did not.
Okay, awesome. So, Dawn, congratulations. Your disguise was very convincing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that
She looks like a woman, just have to
Yeah.
say. So.
It works. You're doing a good job rocking the female look. Good job. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of another interrogation session. Thank you all for your intriguing questions. And we will have one more night of questions and answers before we take a break for Valentine's Day. So, who did it? Ask questions, collect clues, Get ready to sling your accusation to win prizes on the last day of our festival. Remember, if you hear anyone say, I have nothing to say about that, it means either they are misdirecting a red herring, they genuinely don't know anything about that, or your question has no relevant bearing on our mystery. Watch the replays posted on the website and the Facebook page for more intense scrutiny. It's wax stripping time. I've been going over this for like 12 days now, so I'm not going to explain it anymore because you all know what the game is. Here are the standings. We breached the 100 mark. Remember when you were in school and you did 100 days of school and everybody dressed up like a little old man or a little old lady? Congratulations, Christopher. You got there first. Amy, you're at 90. Andrew is at 89. Deborah Reed and Jules Nelson are tied for 87, and Marianne Wieland rounds out the top 5 at 74. Congratulations, everybody. Now it's time for Talismans from the Spirits. We give away 2 books every night, and the books tonight are extraordinary. If you have little people in your life, you're going to love these. They make great gifts. Not only little people, both of these books are such high quality that I don't know an adult who would be upset if they received one in the mail. So if you have somebody's birthday coming up, it's a thought. All right, here we go. We are going to first, if I can find the spinny wheel, there it is. First, we're going to give away Linda's book, which is, hold it up one more time, Linda. Otto the Otter and the Big Surprise. And then Melinda's book. Hold it up, Melinda, so we can see it. You, the boogers and the snot and the, oh my goodness, it's such a to be 7-year-old science kid again. So much fun. All right, I am going to share the spinny wheel of happiness and just run through my collection of names here one more time to make sure everybody who's in the room is in the wheel. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, looks good. All right, you guys, you ready? Spinning wheel number 1 for Linda's book. Here we go.
We don't have sound. That's okay. But yay!
I'm sorry the sound effects are not working tonight. I don't know what I did. Maybe
That's
I can.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
We just imagined it. It's all good.
You know what happened? My technology blipped and it turned off the sound. That's what happened. Okay, here we go. So that was Linda's book. And now we're going to give away Melinda's book. Here we go.
I don't think so.
The double killing.
Okay, we got to spin that again, Mark. I mean, I love you, but I don't know why that is. See,
maybe he gets to pick which of the 2 he wants.
Everybody's against me tonight. All the technology spirits don't like me. So, we're going to do it this way, the manual way. Okay, we'll do it one more time. Here we go. Gonna love it. So much fun. So can I just, point out here, everybody, that with technical glitches and spirits moving around us and in and out of the room and changing the settings on my computer, there is absolutely no way that this is rigged. This is all live. You guys are seeing it the same way I'm seeing it. So yay for live streaming. We love live TV, don't we? So much fun.
I blame it on Nora.
Yeah, I blame Nora too, because
Everybody's always blaming Nora.
well, so far she's the only one we can blame things on. Okay. So Talismans from the Spirits, and I want to remind you the big reveal is coming up on the 29th. We're going to give away prizes. We're going to give away books. We're going to give away prizes for our extraordinarily amazing hat contest, which is always a bundle of fun. Come on back and check it out. Remember, We're doing a thing tomorrow night on the 13th, but we're not doing anything on the 14th. That's a great opportunity for you to all catch up. We'll be back in the Zoom room on the 15th. Okay, before we go, because we're cutting it really close here, we're going to do shots across the bow, and then we will leave you to your speculations. Melinda, shots across the bow.
Thanks for letting me be weird and gross tonight.
It's always fun when you're weird and gross. Amy.
Nothing. No, just always fun and amazing stories today. Yeah.
Spectacular. Gary Floyd, shots across the bow.
Just keeps getting weirder and weirder and a lot of fun.
Just wait. We're not even halfway through yet, and I have more stories to tell you about my research. So that's going to be fun. Yeah. So tune in. Make sure. Don Menge, shots across the bow.
I really enjoyed both the stories, and if you'd like me to do a review, send them to me and I'll put them in Story Monster Magazine.
Awesome. Okay, make sure you put that on our Facebook page so that all the authors know how to connect you through that magazine for us, pretty please. Mary Ann, shots across the bow.
This is just so much fun. This is the most fun part of my post-surgery recovery. I don't have to work around a work schedule. I can just be here.
Well, I'm enjoying your participation. It makes it giggly fun every night. Jules, shots across the bow, ma'am.
Well, I'm just my favorite part of the end of my day right now. So I'm really having a lot of fun.
Fantastic. I'm glad you're having a good time. And I haven't had duck pictures in a while. I'm just saying. Just saying. Last one, Christopher, great and wonderful mystic that you are. Do you have any shots across the bow for us?
Linda and Melinda, it was an absolute privilege to hear you both read tonight. Loved both of your books. Couldn't get enough of your readings. Wish they were twice as long. Loved every one of them. Thank you.
Thank you. And for those of you who want to hear more from these amazing authors, check out the Indie Reads Aloud podcast. Both of them read on the podcast, so you can hear more. Shameless plug. Okay, there, I said it. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight from wherever you Zoom in. I am very, very grateful for your friendship and your community and your spirit. And I hope we can figure this out before the end of the month. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Hey, buddy.